Well, good morning and welcome back to our crazy ambitious project of building approximately a 45-foot long by 12-foot tall stone retaining wall, along with just the most massive fireplace right in the center that you've ever seen. Now, for what has been mostly a two-person team, this is a very ambitious project, but it's coming along really well, and we are now in the home stretch of finishing up this wall. Now, last week on Friday before the weekend, we built up a ton of scaffolding as well as a motorized lift to help bring up the mortar. So our beautiful stone wall is a little bit temporarily covered up, but we just have about 1.2 meters or about 4.5 feet more to go. Well, today is Monday and I was meant to finish these joints over the weekend as we placed these stones on Friday, and we needed to clean up the joints on Saturday, and I could not get myself out of bed or off the couch. But that means this morning I need to chisel this out real quick, get it all smoothed out, and then move on to adding more stones. So just to show you how little we have to go, we're all the way up to here, which is about 3.5 meters tall. And we're just taking the wall just up to here. So it won't be that much longer. In a previous video, I answered the question of why are we doing this now versus working on the inside? And my answer was that I was just tired of working inside. I wanted to get out. And also I wanted to save this work for when it's cold outside because it's brutal. But I think at this point, if I'm being honest, I'm ready to get back inside and do something a little bit easier. Well, pardon the brief interruption to what is a flashback to our family winter vacation. We were cruising through the Caribbean with some dear friends of ours, stopping off at several different destinations along the way, and I thought it might be a good time to tell you about one of the best features of Olafly. If you aren't aware, Olafly is an eSIM provider offering cell phone plans to 213 destinations worldwide, with 160 of those locations having unlimited data. But one great feature about Olafly is they have regional plans. So right now I have the Caribbean plan that gives me cell phone coverage in 16 countries in the Caribbean. So as we pop off in different destinations for the day, I don't have to constantly be switching cell phone plans. I can use just the one regional plan. You can do the same thing, for example, if you're traveling to Europe, you can book one unlimited data plan that covers all of Europe so that if you're changing countries, you don't have to keep switching cell phone plans. We've been using Olafly long before they were a channel sponsor, primarily because of how easy they are to use, as well as they offer unlimited data. When you only have a limited amount of time on your vacation, you don't want to be standing in long lines waiting to switch out your physical SIM card. But with Olafly, it only takes about 90 seconds to download and digitally install a new number, which you do before you take off so that when you land, your phone works immediately. So don't get stuck without coverage on your next vacation or get hit with those annoying roaming charges. Make sure you download Olafly today. Check out the link in the description below or scan the QR code on screen. And when you use the coupon code Voyagers, you'll get an extra 5% off your purchase or top up. Thank you so much to Olafly for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get back at it. Well, yesterday from goofing off, I managed to flip over my motorized wheelbarrow. You gotta have some fun during this process, right? Yeah, I think not enough sleep and just a little bit of carelessness did it in. But it filled up, I don't know, the pistons with oil and gas, and I've did a little bit of researching. I talked to my dad last night. I guess it's called being hydrolocked. I know absolutely nothing about small engines and I have very bad luck with them, but thankfully my dad is a mechanic and he kind of walked me through what to do. It seems relatively simple, but fingers crossed I get this back in working order. Well, rain was not in the forecast, and I'm surprised it's actually rain and not snow given how cold it is. I know you can't see it because it's kind of just misting, but we're kind of in the thick of the clouds right now, and while it's definitely not welcome, we're going to keep pushing through because we are determined this week to finish the wall. Non c'è piove oggi. Non piove, non piove. Molto male. So you've likely noticed this large gap right here as we're focused on finishing the wall to the left and the right of the fireplace. And for the fireplace, we're still waiting on a beam that comes out here and a wood beam that comes out here. And then that massive wood mantle before we can continue building up the chimney stack, which that chimney stack will run all the way up past this terrace here. So I don't think I've done a good job explaining the different layers to the wall itself. You of course have the face stones that are facing outward that we're working so hard to shape, but then you have a layer of stones and cement to act as a strength, a middle layer where you throw in all of the ugly stones, if you will, and mix it with concrete. But then at the very back of the wall where the wall touches the mountain, you occasionally try to have layers of small debris so that any water that comes into the mountain or behind the wall has a way to go down and out the weeping holes that we built lower into the wall. All right, so it seems that our little motorized wheelbarrow is dead, at least for now. I've tried everything I can. I've been talking back and forth with the mechanic, and I just don't think I can get it functioning until he can come up and fix it himself. There's just too much oil stuck in the system, and I just can't seem to get it out and keep it running. It's been running a little bit, but then it'll shut off, and it's gotten stuck a couple of times in the way, so it's getting a little annoying. And I'm back to the regular old wheelbarrow, which while slightly more annoying to use, it always works. So I think the standard script that I'm supposed to follow as a guy is to brush off this work as no big deal, but the reality is that my body is dead. Now that we are working at elevation, two things are happening. One, it's a lot more work, obviously, to bring the stones and mortar and everything, all the debris, up to the scaffolding. And because all of it's a little bit slower, that means I'm stuck doing the majority of the grunt work, and I feel a little bit like an overworked donkey right about now, and my body is simply not recovering or keeping up, but I can see the finish line ahead, and I'm looking forward to getting there. This orange line right above here, right above this yellow line here, is our final finish line. That's as high as we are taking the wall, and that obviously means that we are very, very close to being done. Now, obviously, there's still this gaping hole right here that we need to work on. But that is all for the chimney stack that will come later after the wall is finished. I think I mentioned before that we're still waiting on our wood beams or wood mantle to come in order to continue building up. That's supposed to come in tomorrow morning, but I think we figured out a way to continue on with the chimney stack just in case it does not come in. But very, very soon, by the end of this video for sure, this wall will be completely done, and then we'll just have to work on the chimney stack. So at different stages in building the walls, we need different types of stones. So as I come to our stone pile looking for stones, I feel like I've depleted everything in terms of what we need at that time. But now that we're getting to the top, I'm going back through and realizing that we have a lot more stones perfect for this level of height. And that is these type of really small stones, which I am so very thankful for. And also, I realized that if you look behind me, the property looks like a disaster, but hopefully now, as you see this wall coming together, you can see the beauty that we're going to be creating out of all of this chaos. See, this is all of our building supplies to build future projects, gates and fences and things like that. And if you have any ideas, then let me know, but don't suggest anything too big, because I need a break after this wall here. Need to get back inside, and then we'll save some of the more fun, creative stone projects for a future date. So for those wondering why we don't use the lift to carry up the stones just like we do for the mortar, well, that's because, as Carly would say, that would be troppo facile, or too easy. No, actually it's because we only have one of those carts, that specialty handle that allows you to use the lift. We had another one, but it broke, so the stones are easy enough to throw up. So as we are nearing the finish line, so close away, look at these crisp, beautiful lines for the top of the wall. That right there is the work of a master, and I'm very privileged to be an apprentice of sorts and to slowly be learning. I feel like I've really gotten the hang of chiseling the stones, but the actual putting the stones in the wall, I still have a lot to learn. Well, we're determined to finish this wall today, so we're gonna put on some lights and get back to work. But while we still have a little bit of daylight left as the sun is setting, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. Come back next week to see our final reveal of the wall and the beginning process of building up that fireplace chimney stack. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week.